we will try to understand the Trump phenomena, and the first part of the Trump phenomena was how he was successful in getting the Republican nomination. Because if you do remember, up to 2 months ago or 3 months ago, no one serious from the analysis would have bet that he could make it to the nomination. Everyone said it's a kind of bubble and it will collapse. In order to explain it, and then maybe to be able to predict who will be the president, is we have to ask some more general questions like how a minority spreading phenomena operate. How come an initial minority supporting some opinion or candidate can become majority? And sociophysics models show that indeed, and it's a paradox, this works for using open mind and free debate. So it is not a manipulation of an active minority, just having rational people and discussing. So it looks very paradoxal to say, how come this happened? What is the starting point of the problem? It's me, it's you, everyone, when there is an important issue, does have an opinion. And you want to convince others that you do have the right opinion. And others want to convince you that they do have the right opinion, in case not the same. So we discuss, we argue, till the moment we go to vote. I will present today the bare model of my opinion dynamics, which is much more sophisticated than that, but the first element will be enough to give you some understanding of what is happening. And we will consider that all our agents, I define them as flexible, which means that every agent does have an opinion, has reason to support Clinton or Trump. However, this person wants to make the right choice, which means that when he argues, he also listens to counter-argument. And in case you come up with better argument, why Clinton is better, then it will change opinion. So it is not someone which is stubborn. It's someone which wants to get to the best choice for himself, the country, his social group. Now, when people discuss, this is a kind of complicated phenomena, but of course what we know is you discuss informally in very small groups. As it's happened all the time when we have a social gathering, you will discuss by 2, 3, 4. And if you are discussing about the important issue, then you can change opinion of someone which you are discussing with. So how someone change opinion, we don't know today, and it's a complicated cognitive process. And at this point, I will make a very simple approximation, which is supposed to embed this complicated phenomena. And then I will say that every agent does have one argument in favor of Clinton or in favor of Trump, and then when they discuss, each one gives his argument. And within the group, we will use a local majority, which means that if I have a majority of argument for Trump or for Clinton, I will choose to vote for the one which got the larger number of arguments. But then you keep on discussing and arguing, and then the question, are we going to get some stability or some ongoing volatility? And to answer this, we have to frame the problem. So we start from a very simple situation. I have a population. Every person does have an opinion, A or B. I can conduct a poll, then I can get what is the proportion of people supporting A, what is the proportion of people supporting B, and then now they keep this ongoing informal discussion. I distribute them randomly in small group of 2, 3, 4 people, 5 people. They discuss, they exchange argument, and at the end of the discussion within our hypothesis, I will have local polarization within each group. Then at the end, every group will share the same opinion. However, you keep on talking for months, so then people are reshuffling, go to their life, and then they will discuss in new group with new people. And then again, we will use our local polarization effect. And then we'll keep on, and the question, what is going to happen? Are we going to get an equilibrium state? If yes, how many updates do we need to reach this equilibrium? Let us start with a very simplest case. the simplest one, a group of size 3. So then I can write what is the probability to have a group of 3 persons chosen randomly from my population in which I will have a majority of A supporters. Either I will have 3A or 2A and 1B. The first equation is this probability to have 3A. The second one is 2A, 1B. These two cases will end up having 3A, as it is a majority. Now, to study the dynamics, when I repeat the process, I have to solve what is called the fixed point equation of the process. And indeed, I found that I have 2 attractors and a typing point, which give me this general dynamics. If I start from a support which is larger than 50%, this open-mind informal discussion will increase the majority toward a kind of 100%. We'll never reach because you will vote before. But the trend is that the initial majority will grow through this local discussion. So we have like a kind of a democratic dynamics, and it goes rather quickly. If I start from a minority, which is rather substantial of 45%, it will go to 43, 39, 34, 26, 17, 8, 2, 0. So only 8 updates are enough to make 45% of the population to be convinced by 55% of the population undergoing discussion by group of 3. We have the curve, how it works here. At this point, you would say, okay, why did I took 10 minutes of your time to show you something obvious and trivial, and not so much interesting at this level? Of course, and I agree. But we have here a kind of nice explanation of, not explanation, illustration of using simple model which can give you more sophisticated finding. When I make my hypothesis of a local majority rule, it works provided I have odd size group. In case of an even size group, I can have a situation in which I will have a time. And this produces something which is very complex and subtle. The group is going to doubt, which means that when I have a group like 4 persons, 2A, 2B, people are arguing, they are putting the argument together, then the group cannot decide on rational ground which opinion, which choice to do. So we have obtained, which was not in the model given explicitly, a complicated cognitive picture. The doubt is produced spontaneously within the collective confrontation of opinion. And then we come to the main hypothesis, is say, the group will not stay on this doubt. The group want to decide, are we going to vote for Trump or Clinton? And then here I say that the doubt will be shifted by going according to the common belief of the group, the shared belief, or the common prejudice of the group, which can be connected to the issue. And I will give some illustration after what I mean by that. Now, a social group do have common prejudice. Some of them are, people are aware of them, and others are not. They are not aware. These are part of our education, part of things which we have been educated to, and you are not aware that you do have this bias or this cognitive prejudice. For instance, in a case of a reform proposal, this has been shown by psychosociologists, the tip in case of a doubt will be to the statu quo. That means if you are discussing about a reform proposal and you have as many arguments in favor to the reform as arguments against, then the kind of reasonable choice will be to say, let's keep what we have. That means why to go to something new if even before it is implemented, we are not sure that it will be better. So we keep what we have. But other prejudices are like sexism, homophobia, racism, ethnocentrism, religiousness, affirmative action. This is an interesting prejudice which is imposed by the states. This is something kind of new. Precautionary principle also, or social vision. The question is, when we are dealing with a given issue, which prejudice is going to be activated to raise the doubt case? And we can ask, but does this effect important? And does it have a substantial weight on the outcome of the debate? To do it, we now go to put in equation the simplest case in which we can have a type group of size 4. Now the symmetry between the two opinions has been broken. Before it was equal. This is why we had the typing point at 50%. Now, depending on your opinion, you can be in tune or in dissonance with the collective prejudice. So the two equations are different. On the top, you have the equation for the dissonance opinion, while on the bottom, it is for the opinion which is in tune with the prejudice. And when we solve it, we get this situation. You see that now it's very unbalanced. For the opinion which is in tune with the common prejudice, in order to draw, it is enough to start above 23% of support, which means you start from an initial minority of 24%. You have open mind discussion, and then little by little, this minority will grow and cross the 50% frontier, and you will get the majority. On the other side, the opinion which is in dissonance with the leading prejudice, even if you start from a very high support of 70%, the ongoing open mind discussion will take it down and put it below 50%. So the effect is very surprising and unexpected. You see here how it works for the opinion which is in dissonance with the prejudice. Let's see some number, because it's also go rather quickly. If I start from a minority of 25% supporting the opinion which is in tune with the prejudice of the group, it will go up to 26, 28, 32, 38, 48, 66. Only 6 rounds of discussion will bring this minority to the status of being majority. A majority which was rationally decided by the people. It's not imposed or anything like this. So, accordingly, what is very important is which prejudice will be activated for a given issue, because you want to benefit from it. If you are in dissonance with this prejudice, you are lost from this public discussion. Prejudice may vary with time for a given social group. They can also be activated according to some external events, some shocking events, so people all of a sudden will start to be more sensitive to this prejudice. But many of them are tied up in our unconscious education, and then you are not aware that indeed you are sharing this prejudice. So it seems from this model that the collective belief and prejudice go against the individual choice, and we will see how it works. I now will show you the situation in which one opinion starts with a support of 25%. And this opinion is in total dissonance with the leading active prejudice. So you see that it will go down to 0 as we show from the model. Now what I do, the prejudice over there is k equal 1. I will reduce it and I will turn it now step by step that it will become in tune with this opinion. And we will see how the effect of discussing goes on the evolution of this initial 25%. You see that 90% of prejudice, not much is changed. I increase, not much, not much, not much. And then all of a sudden, it changed totally. It's the same initial support of 25%. It's the same opinion. What has been changed in the social group was all of a sudden the activation of a different prejudice, and now this opinion is in tune with the prejudice. We can see what happened on the other side. I start from an opinion which has a very strong support, 70%, 77%. And this opinion is in tune with the prejudice. Now we make the prejudice change side, and then it will go little, reduce, and again, it will all of a sudden go to zero and collapse. So totally unexpected, because you see that from a lot of things which happened before, not much has happened. We can have the general case for any initial condition given a prejudice, and for the opinion here which is in dissonance with the prejudice. Now I change, and you see what happened for all these initial values. And now we can come to Trump, or not Trump, and to explain what he's doing. Indeed, when I developed this model, I was thinking that the prejudice of a group are, of course, given, and that you cannot act on them. So you have to make your opinion to formulate it at the beginning, or your political position in tune, but you cannot act on the prejudice. What Trump has shown is that, I don't know if this is what he does, but at least I can interpret it within my model this way, that indeed he activates prejudice. What has been his ongoing way to his campaign? He always makes very shocking statements. Within the Republican population which is going to vote, he won their nomination. He infuriates many of them, the majority of them. And, very important, he provokes a debate. That means people will start to discuss about this shocking statement within his social group, which is here the Republican. So indeed, what he does, by shocking the people, at the same time he activates very deep prejudice which are present within this social population. And then, when people start to discuss, they will start, like 75% of the people will say, I will not vote for Trump within the Republican. But actually, this 70% which say, I will not vote for him, they do share the prejudice which is in tune with Trump's position. And by discussing among them, this will go down, and finally they will vote for him. So he awakes very buried prejudice among a majority of Republicans, and the subtle thing that he allows them to express their opposition to this prejudice, because they are shocked. They say, no, we don't agree, and they will vote for it. I will give you an illustration, maybe that you can understand the mechanism about sexism. Take today, sexism is not only politically incorrect, unacceptable, but I think most of the men, which has a little thinking, are against and say no sexism. So you have a committee which has to select a candidate, and you have a female candidate, a male candidate. If the credential of the female candidate is much higher, no problem, she will be selected. If it's a man, he is selected. What happens in case they are both at the same ground? You cannot decide on rational ground.
Okay.
My point is that then you will, I finish this thing. You will decide that according to your sexist prejudice, it will be the woman. And this explains why affirmative action is important in order to counter this thing. And this is the way Trump works.
Anybody have any questions for Serge while they're starting up? Well, so Serge, based on your sociophysics models, who's going to win the election? What's your prediction?
So it will have to change nowadays the prejudice that it will start to awake will be more common to American. That means it will be common prejudice to the Democrat and the Republican. For the moment, he has been playing with the prejudice of only Republican and not Democrat. So this will be the change, and then he will be elected if he does this.
Okay.
This is my prediction.
And so whatever you are talking to me looks like the
value, whatever it is. It's not like absolute things, but it's a social process. Like it comes through some interaction or some discussing with the people. Is that what you are telling? And the second things look to me like you're coming up with something like probability is a logic of science or something like that. That's what I feel from your presentation.
No, partly, but the point, the value is to make a difference between your opinion, your rationale, and your hidden value, which you are not, what you do when your rationality cannot give you the answer. This is the main point. And this happens through the confrontation of opinion, not by yourself.